Right. Like, donate, subscribe to the Triple B. That's right. We're going through this entire card. What's it called? The Night of the Crescendos? The last of the crescendo? The last crescendo? I can't remember. I keep on forgetting, man. Because it's such a whack name. Why would I remember that? I mean, I suppose the crescendo, like, it kind of means, I don't know what it means. It's like the highest form of excitement or whatever, or action or whatever, you know. So I guess they're trying to say, oh, it's the most exciting bill. Whatever, man. It's not important. Buatsi, Joshua Buatsi, V's. Callum Smith, from the famous Fighting Smith family that seemed to get endless world title shots. This is like the WBO interim title again. We all know how whack interim titles are. Let's start with Buatsi. So Buatsi, he's been considered to be a top prospect for ages now. He's 31. He's beyond prospect age. He fought at a very high level. A very high level in the amateurs. He got a bronze medal in the Rio Olympics, but he's one of these guys who basically fought at national level and international level for most of his career. You know what I'm saying? Even as a youth, the first listed fight ever on Box Rec is him winning on points against Jack Massey in the youth championship final. So this is a guy who has fought at top level for years. He's never quite. I mean, I guess he flattered to deceive a bit as a pro. 19 wins, 13 KOs, so a decent puncher. Yeah. If you go through his record, he's been fighting at borderline world level for a few years now. Well, if you count Richard Bolotnik's, Marco Antonio Periban, Ryan Ford, those kind of guys. Pavel Stepien. Dan Aziz, according to Terry Chaps, he was he predicted that Dan Aziz would beat Beterbiev. I mean, it just goes to show this is a guy who knows grassroots boxing, but he allows his prejudices, right, to control his predictions, because Aziz, he's British level. I mean, as if Beterbiev would destroy him. And Aziz, Aziz got turned on his head. Right? He got turned on his head by Buatsi. Was that on the Gay J bill? Gay J B's Dubum bill, I think. So, he turned him on his head, dropped it twice. He won very clearly. And then Willie Hutchinson. Willie Hutchinson was against the Daniel Dubois bill. Excuse me. That was against Willie Hutchinson. The Aziz bill, actually, the Aziz vs. Buatsi bill was actually the main event. So, excuse me. So, Willie Hutchinson, he beat in his last fight. It was a split decision, a very weird split decision. One guy had 117, 108 to Buatsi. Another guy had 115, 110 to Buatsi. So, clearly, he got dropped twice, Hutchinson. Plus, he got a point taken out. So, that's already 3 points away. Well, it's more than that, because it's a 10-8 round. That's 5 points down, in 3 rounds. So that's all a bit odd. I don't know how Gregor Molenda scored at 112, 113 against Buatsi. That's a bit weird, but I like Hutchinson, but there's no way he won that fight. And that's when you get into this sort of dodgy with betting. You're thinking, oh, well, now a guy actually went for Hutchinson. So if you bet on a split decision specifically, and it was like 17-1, you're loving it. Callum Smith is a different proposition. So this is the best guy that, not even arguably. Craig Richards is half decent. He got beaten on points, but he's very negative, Craig Richards. It wasn't a particularly exciting fight. So Callum Smith is like the best dude he's fought. Callum Smith used to be world champion. And I'd say legitimate world champion. He's not one of these, rubbish interim types or, fly-by-night champions. I mean, he held, when he first he fought for the vacant WBC World Super Middle against Saul Alvarez. He got beaten on points. You know, he got beaten on points. Obviously there's no disgrace in that. Alvarez was considered the best in the world at the time. He then, what did he do? Well, actually, hang on, mate. I need to look back. He won something called the WBC Diamond Super Middleweight Champion. What is that? I've got no idea. No idea what that is. I just realised why I can't find World Championships, because it's WBA. That's the problem with BoxRec. They decided not to recognise the WBA, which is just nuts. Why would you do that? I mean, that's a particularly bad decision, because you lack integrity now. Yeah, we all know that all these different championships are rubbish, the organisations, but to just take away any recognitions for the WBA is just kind of weird. It's very weird. You know what I'm saying? So, Smith also boxed in the World Boxing Super Series. I'm just trying to find out what. Yeah, so he got the WBA Super Version title and Ring Super Middleweight titles. So allegedly he held it from 2018 to 2020. Yeah, the BoxRec did himself a disservice, a disservice here. He beat George Groves, is probably his best win. He stopped George Groves in 7 rounds, decent win. He stopped Hassan Endam and Jikam, who was pretty tough. He stopped him in 3 rounds. He won a unanimous decision against John Ryder. And then that was his WBA title reign. And he got... and then he got beaten on points by Saul Alvarez quite clearly. He's one of these guys, Callum Smith, that he can look really good sometimes and then look pretty ordinary, He got given a shot at the more or less undisputed title against Beterbiev. He got stopped in 7. There was never really a minute when he thought, Smith might win this, but, we're talking about Beterbiev here. So, I mean, he's fought at world level, he's lost. I mean, obviously the 2 best fighters he faced, he lost. But Buatsi isn't on their level. To me, it's an even fight, really. Even though he's the underdog, Callum Smith, at 2.75, so that's just under 2-1. He's 34, that might be the worry, but, he's had quite a long career. Well, he seemed to, but actually he's only had 32 fights as a pro, even though he's been pro since 2012. So it's been slow. He had a top-level amateur career, like a lot of internationals, Olympic qualifiers and stuff like that. He never quite made it, but he fought at international level a lot and national level. So similar to Buatsi, except he didn't make the Olympics, but he's got a better pro record, Smith. I have this as an even fight, and it all depends on whether Smith really wants it, and he looks in super shape. And when he stared down, he looked like he wanted it, and we'll see. I mean, it's 50-50. I just put a $5 on Callum Smith just because of the odds, because I do think it's an even fight. I think if I would have gone to my head, it's a real tough one. I'm going to go for Smith. I'm going to go for Smith as long as we get the good Smith, I guess. But I think. I don't know. Buatsi has never totally impressed me, although he looked good against Aziz. But Aziz is no world beater, although according to Terry he is. He could beat Beterbiev. It's tragic. What a tragic thing to say. But yeah, so Callum Smith edging it on points. That's my prediction.